So today I'm going to be sharing a story from one of my old schools I used to go to. Let's call this kid Robert. Yeah. So Robert, he wasn't the most cleanliest person. He was a pretty nasty motherfucker, and he did not like the shower. When you think of a Reddit mod, and you usually come to think of their stench, this kid was smelt like that. That's what comes to mind. And he had this aura of fucking death around him. Like his aura was foul. And he was also very annoying. And then one day, our teacher decides to let us make pizzas as a class, and yeah, really goated teacher. He was really nice. Anyways, Robert. I was paired with Robert and a couple of other people, and Robert. Okay, the first thing you do when you're working with food that everyone's gonna be eating is you don't stick your fingers in your mouth. I feel like that's something you shouldn't really do when you're touching food that people are gonna eat. So Robert decides to like bite his nails or something. I'm not too sure what he did, but he was putting his fingers in his mouth. And then he went to go touch. I think it was like the dough or like a tool, like a cutting tool or something. And like me and a couple of other people were like, "Hey, whoa there, pal. You just had your fingers in your mouth. You should probably go wash them." And then Robert started getting pissed off at us, and we were like, "Dude, just go wash your hands. Like, it's not that big of a deal, and it's disgusting. Like, we're gonna be eating it at some point, so, that would be pretty nasty to have your saliva." And we all keep pressing him about it, and for whatever reason, he just does not want to wash his fingers. He does not seem to get the concept that we're all grossed out by, him sticking his fingers in his mouth and trying to touch like a tool or ingredient. I forget which he tried to. And yeah, so he starts crying. Like, what? Bro, you're in like 8th grade. Wait, no, I think he was in 7th. I don't know, I think he was a grade below me. Anyways, the teacher comes over to see what the hell's going on. Robert's in tears, and you got a bunch of pissed off students. And he asks, and we tell him, like, "Hey, this motherfucker's a nasty motherfucker. He stuck his fingers in his mouth, and then he tried to touch the dough or tools." And the teachers told him to wash his hands. I don't remember exactly what he did. I think it was that. And then it came time to put the ingredients on the dough, and then we cooked it, and then recess rolled around. And Robert went off somewhere, and one of my other friends at the time and her friend must have saw Robert crying somewhere, and they asked him, like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then this motherfucker, he has the nerve to fucking lie straight to their face about what happened. He was like, "They weren't including me on anything. They're being assholes to me, and they just wouldn't let me do anything." So they came over to me and they started like asking, like, "What the fuck is going on here? Why is Robert in tears?" And I explained to them what happened, and yeah, they didn't really have much sympathy for Robert anymore. And that's not the only story I have of Robert. I have one more, and yeah, Robert was not a nice person. He was annoying as shit. He smelled really bad, and like his general appearance was just dirty. Like his fingers were dirty. His face. He just did not like the shower. I think he was allergic to soap or something, or he just didn't know the concept of soap. I'm not too sure which one is which, but yeah, a really horrible person. And yeah, I got one more story of Robert. So yeah, that's the story of Robert and the pizza.